I'm going to call out to a colleague and friend of mine. Her name is Moon, and I will just briefly introduce her to you guys, and then you'll be able to experience the actual call. And again, very simple, calling and call. Hi, Moon. How are you doing today?
Hello, Patsy. How are you?
Moon, I just want to introduce you to everyone. This is Mumu Baisha, who is, again, a friend and a colleague who's been part of our beta trials, members of the press. They're all here in the room, looking forward to experience this with us, Moon.
Okay.
You know, Yumi is really about you and me being together in a new way.
See, I just thought that was just a coincidence. So you, me, right?
Exactly.
That's how it's pronounced.
Exactly.
You am I, but you, me.
You am I,
okay.
exactly. And you know, it has a lot to do with people having a big need to be with friends and family that they really care about on a continuous basis. Many families are dispersed these days as people take jobs in different cities and so forth. But you know, the technologies that's been out there to date has really not met the bar in terms of a great immersive experience. Mm-hmm. In business, with our telepresence systems, we were able to change that, and we've seen how it changed the way people work. Mm-hmm. With the Yumi product, it's going to do the same in your home. You'll be able to, in your living room, connect live in full HD with people on your HD TV in the living room. It'll be very easy to use, very easy to deploy, uses your existing HD TV and broadband. And you know, that's just the beginning, because where we're going with it is that you will also be able to consume virtual business services. Your doctor, your lawyer, your accountant can now come to you and do business with you in your living room.
Yeah. In the corporate setting, it makes a lot of sense, and corporations are used to spending a lot of money on telepresence and video technology. But for the consumer, who's very used to different services like Skype and Google Chat, where pretty much it's very low cost, or if not free, how do you expect the consumer to spend, you know, $600 for the product, then $25 a month? How do you explain that value proposition?
You know, it's interesting. We now are in literally hundreds of consumers' homes with trials. And once you experience it, it's a little bit like chocolate. You know, you've got to taste it. I can't tell you what it is. And I'd invite people to come to Best Buy as we roll out the products in Magnolia stores, as well as in Westfield malls around the country for the holidays. You got to come see it. Once you see it, you'll understand that this is really, really different.
And so what's really different is the audio quality, the visual quality. What would you say is the real differentiating points here?
Well, Evelyn, it's all of the above. The audio is phenomenal. It's full, you know, rich wideband audio. Secondly, the video in full 1080p HD in life size on a big screen means that I don't just see your face or your head and shoulders, but you can sit back on a couch and you and I can chat with my grandma and grandpa that's right there on the screen. And full body language comes into play. And what we have seen is people are willing to pay for premium experiences. We've seen that with HD TV. We've seen it with, you know, devices like the iPad and the iPhone and so forth. And the fact that you can talk, you know, all day long for you know, a fixed price per month, I think will be very attractive to consumers.
That's assuming, though, that they can afford it and they can taste it, right? So what is Cisco's marketing campaign here? Because not everyone is going to flood into these Best Buy stores. So how do you get them understanding what Cisco offers and how that's different and why that's important to their life?
A great question. You know, we've been fortunate as we shared the experience with some key people. Oprah Winfrey will be having this on her show, and will actually be interviewing people in their homes starting this fall on her show. So we're really excited about that. And Ellen Page will also be launching a big advertising campaign with us around Ellen and her friends. And you know, that will start showing people on television as part of these ads, you know, how what this experience is, and will draw people in. We will also be partnering with Verizon starting early next year. They will be doing a big push around this. And so, you know, this hopefully will also spread virally, because if I buy one, I can talk to you on Google Video Chat. You can see me sitting on the couch and see that it's a very different experience. And so we think that viral effect will also play a big role.
Gotcha. Now, so you can use it with other services, like you mentioned, Google Chat. What kind of partnerships do you see beyond Verizon? What can we expect over the next few months where you would see a closer alignment?
Yeah, you know, you will definitely see us work with other service providers as well. Verizon is a key go-to-market partner for us, but this solution will work on any broadband connection, whether it's Comcast or whoever. You don't have to be on a Verizon connection. And so we're working with those service providers as well that will also be putting campaigns in place over the coming months. This will be available online as well. And, just stay tuned for a lot of activity around this. We're going to be investing heavily and really make this a big consumer play for Cisco and establish our brand in the living room as a company that is relevant for consumers.
Yeah, so you mentioned it's about being in the living room, and there was some analyst who said that whether or not this product succeeds or fails on a revenue profit standpoint, that it's important for Cisco no matter what, because it's about that consumer brand and identifying yourself with the consumer. Do you see that as true? I mean, how would you explain that? I mean, in terms of what this means for Cisco's attempt to pivot towards more of a consumer audience?
I think it's very, very important, and you've hit the nail on the head. This is a very, very strategic play for us. Now, we're involved, for instance, in the building of cities around the world. If you think of Songdo, Korea, they are installing thousands of these in new apartments as the apartments are being built. It's like your dishwasher. The developer is putting it in. So by the time you buy the apartment, it's there. And the reason is that the city will be delivering all education, healthcare, and government services in a virtual model right into your home. They cut down on traffic congestion, on pollution in the city, and it makes it a better and more attractive city. So, we really think this is the way of the future. And, those kinds of examples will establish our brand in the mind of the average consumer as a company that changes the way people work, live, play, and learn.
How many units do you have installed today? How many do you project to have by, say, end of next year?
Well, we have a few hundred today as part of our trials. We obviously, the units are pre-orderable today online.
And does that include Seoul, where you have them now installed?
No, it doesn't include that. That deployment is just starting.
Okay, so and how many will there be in that city?
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands,
yes,
okay.
Just in phase one is about 25,000.
So is that like part of the apartment price? As people sign the bottom line, it just comes in with their dishwasher?
Yeah, exactly. It'll be delivered. The service, will be billed for by the city. Just like Verizon, the Yumi line item will actually be on your Verizon bill if you're a Verizon customer.
One of the things we've been talking about on TechCrunch is the kind of growing competition between Cisco and Skype. And as Skype becomes more of an enterprise tool, as they go into that, you're competing on many different levels. And of course, you're going to the consumer space now. How would you characterize that dynamic?
Well, we don't really see Skype as a competitor today because they do all their monetization on voice, and I think they monetize across about 8 million subscribers on the voice side, and they have free video chat, and there are many others that have that. This is a very different experience. You can't really compare it with what Skype has, and it's a living room experience. And even if you look at what Skype has done with some of the HDTV manufacturers, our experience is totally in a different class. So we would like to see Skype much more as a partner than a competitor in all of this. Because at the end of the day, the more companies that offer these kinds of services, the more quicker the uptake of these video options will be for consumers.
Though it's a matter of the level of premium, right? So Skype is becoming more HD, and if they increase their technology to the point that it's almost on par or on par with Yumi, then it in effect becomes a competitor though. So what do you think about that? Because it's not about changing their business model, it's just a matter of changing their technology, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't like to speculate on what they may or may not do in the future. What I would know is to deliver this experience, if they should be able to do that, will not be free. And for them also, at some point, they will have to start monetizing video. So they have some interesting challenges ahead of them. But again, we see them more as a partner, as a competitor. And in these days, in the tech world, one day you compete, the next day you partner.
Yeah.
And so
or maybe all at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So we hope we can partner and interoperate with them.
My final question is, how have you been using it? So I assume you must have one in your home, right?
I do.
And where do you find the value in it?
Well, I have two college kids. My son is in Colorado and my daughter is down in Southern California, both in college. And I was fortunate enough to be part of this trial, so I installed a unit for each one of them in where they stay. And so we've been chatting, multiple times a week with them. It's been a great way to keep in contact. But I actually had a fascinating event happen just 3 weeks ago. My son broke his leg. I had to have surgery, titanium rod implanted. I flew out the next morning, got him from the hospital. Luckily, he's fine. He's just in recovery right now. But took him home. And within minutes, we were able to let mom and the 2 younger boys from home here in the Bay Area talk to him. We were able to zoom in all the way onto his leg, let them see what it looks like and what the surgery was like. And then 2 of his college friends walk in the door. And, they sat down, talked to him, asked some questions, and then one said, "Oh, I see you're watching TV," because my wife was still on the HD TV. And my son said, No, that's my mom. And the college friend said, "Oh, you mean she's an actress?" And he goes, No, that's my mom. We're talking to her. And she says, "Oh, hi, I'm Karen." And these 2 kids almost fell off their chairs. It's such a different experience. So that's been a great experience for me, both in a tough time, being able to connect my family, but also, just seeing the reaction from people that sees it the first time.